Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. Shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today? What should we talk about today? I actually feel like I have a couple of things to talk about, but I'm only going to choose one. I'm going to choose this one because I'm going to forget about it otherwise. But this one happened actually. I was recording some Baba's You earlier today. I'll tell you which episode, so you can wait for it to come out. It's going to come out in like a month or something, so you can hear the interruption in it. Let's see, episode 43. So. You can certainly be waiting a while for that one to come out. But I got interrupted because the doorbell rang. And I was like, that's a bit strange. You know, I don't often hear the doorbell ring unless you're expecting delivery or something. But I had no delivery that I'm expecting. So I was like, what could it be? And I'll tell you after the break. Bum, 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 bum. Hello, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow at 6:06 p.m. on Wednesday, April 27th, 2022. So this is Gulliver, washed up on the beach. Yeah, so of course I want to go onto the door being like, hi, who are you? And then, you know, I was like, maybe it's a delivery that I forgot about or something. It was something like completely unexpected. And it was completely something unexpected. It was just a lady, she was just talking to me and she was like, I can't remember exactly. I was just like, hi. She was like, hi. And she was like, do you drink milk? And I was like, yeah, I guess. And she was like, oh yeah, wonderful. And then she said something about like milk delivery, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess I should probably mention that I drink oat milk. I don't drink lactose milk, and I'm not actually fully lactose intolerant, but well, I'm like mildly lactose intolerant, which is like kind of common. I hear in especially Chinese people. It's very, very common for people to be lactose intolerant. I'm not fully lactose intolerant. I can eat it and I'll be fine mostly, but it does certainly. It's like, which one upsets my stomach more, like a plate of broccoli or a plate of cheese or something, and probably a plate of cheese. But you know, you might argue that's to do with the fats of oil. So either way, but the amount of intolerance I have is not enough to particularly for me to normally say I have lactose intolerance. But if but you know, I've had oat milk, and I was like, oh, oat milk is like just as delicious as regular cow's milk. I'm just gonna have oat milk from now on. So that's why I've got oat milk. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And she was like, yeah, okay. Then I was like, how often do you how much do you buy each week or something? And I was like, I don't know, just like one carton a week or something. Maybe it was like, how big are his cartons? I was like, I don't know, like a litre, maybe. I don't actually know how big his cartons are. Actually, it just looks like a standard like juice carton. So juice carton size. Yeah, 1 litre. That seems about. No, hold on. It's not this big Tropicana thick one. It's the thinner one. So maybe it's like 750 or 500. What's this one? Minute Maid, 59 fluid ounces. I don't know how much that is. UK. No, I want the big cartons. I don't want these tiny cartons, but I don't want that big a carton. Anyway, I just guessed because I had no idea how big it was. I was like, I don't know, like a litre or something. And she was like, and then she started talking about what she was selling. She was a door-to-door salesman, basically advertising some sort of product, which I guess was a milk delivery service. And you might be like, that's just a milkman. I'm like, no, well, in this case it wasn't a milkman, because we actually still kind of have milkmen in UK. Like, I'm not sure if it happened I haven't seen him for ages, but basically back in secondary school I used to have a friend, and he used to get his milk delivered every single Sunday morning or something, like from an actual milkman. And I was like, oh, you know, that's pretty cool. And like, you know, it's the sort of thing where like I only hear about it and haven't actually seen people do. And you know, I haven't, you know, our family hadn't done it for like, I don't even know if we did it when I was younger, to be honest, but it's more of a bygone era sort of thing nowadays. It's not, a lot of people just go to the supermarket to get their milk now, unless I suppose you have like high quality local milk, in which case maybe you go to a milkman for that. I don't really know, but milkmans are still probably kind of a thing. So I guess it was just kind of like a milk delivery that, like, well, it wasn't just milk, mind you, but like she pitched it to me initially as a milk delivery service. I was like, okay. Of course, you know, I didn't want to exactly be like, sorry, not interested, because I was actually kind of curious. There's no way I was going to buy whatever the product was, but I was just kind of curious of what she was going to go with it, to be honest, in the first place. And I was like, maybe it'd be something interesting. Like, I highly doubt it, but you know, give her the time of day because she seemed nice. And then she basically went over to milk delivery service, and they deliver a load of other things as well. And then she was like, how often do you eat eggs? And I was like, not very often, to be perfectly honest. Like, I have it sometimes. She was like, do you have like a 12-pack per week? And I was like, probably not even that much, to be honest. And she was like, okay, what about bread? And I was like, bread, I don't buy bread, or very rarely buy bread. And it's true, I don't really buy bread, and most of the time I get my carbohydrate filling through noodles or rice, to be perfectly honest, which is, you know, not that uncommon for especially in Asia. And I remember this because we watched like a documentary back in primary school about bread, which I don't know why. And then there was a world map or something, and then there was like 30 kids, and the presenter was like, all right, everyone go stand on places where people eat bread or whatever, and then the kids just do it all over the world. And then I just remember him like having a sort of side comment. I'll be like, oh, you probably don't want to stand on like this area, and it was just like East Asian, like China, Japan, Korea, that sort of thing, maybe Indonesia as well, I can't really remember. And it was like they mainly eat rice and maybe they don't really eat bread. But then he went on to be like, because everyone around the world eats bread, despite the fact he just pointed out the fact that a lot of East Asian countries don't eat bread. Well, at the time. Nowadays, of course, it was quite a very old documentary. To be honest, I think it was made in the 1980s or something, maybe even older, 70s. And yeah, obviously nowadays there's bread in like China, Japan, and South Korean. It's not the main carbohydrate, probably not by a long shot. And I'd imagine rice is king, and then probably noodles underneath, and then maybe bread. That's my guess. I don't actually know. The bread is very different in China, Japan. I will say it's very sweet from what I recall. I don't quite recall off the top of my head, but it's not quite like what we got in the UK. We got like a whole, I mean, there's entire aisles just dedicated to bread because that's how much bread we have. So she was like, oh, do you eat, how often do you order bread? And I was like, not really all that often, to be honest. I mean, I can't remember. She asked one other thing. Oh yeah, and she was like, what was it, like sweets or cakes or something? She was like, sweets or cakes. I was like, oh, I never have sweets or cakes. And then, you know, exasperated. Not exasperated. She wasn't like, she was like, you know what? Well, have a good day, Ben. I don't think this is for you. And I was like, fair enough, you know. And I apologised because I was like, I felt like I wasted your time. Just to basically tell you, I don't eat any of the things that you do this delivery service for. And she was like, no, that's fine. Don't even worry about it. So I feel bad. Sorry, this random woman, if you're watching, if you came to my house and, you know, tried to sell me some delivery service. And the fact I don't partake, I suppose, in any of the food that you delivered. But, you know, not bad. If it helped, I probably wouldn't have got it anyway. I guess that doesn't really help. It sounds like even more of a waste of time, doesn't it? You're not wrong. Okay, you're not wrong. You're very right there. But it got me thinking about like milkmen and delivery services and that sort of thing. It is very much a bygone era. Like, I don't even know the last time I've seen a milkman, but I very much was alive for when milkmen, or milk people, I suppose. That sounds very strange for some reason. Milk deliverers were very much a thing. I mean, are we still a thing? There must be a thing in smaller towns. I'm in quite I'm not going to say rural village, but I'm in a small village. I would certainly say small town. I don't really know what the definitions are of where I live, but well, I'd say it's probably plausible that milk. Is there a gender neutral term for this, or is it just milkmen? Milk delivery people. All right, that's sure. Why not? Well, I live in a sort of town. It's not like those picturesque like cottages, small like English countryside that people think of stereotypically when they think of England, which is, you know, that's not quite where I live. Where I'd say it'd be pretty plausible to have milk delivery services. But I do live in a town where it's like kind of countryside enough where I'd be like, if there were milk delivery services, I'd be like, that doesn't surprise me. But if there weren't, I'd be like, you know, also fair enough. But definitely when I was younger, I remember growing up watching like the milk delivery vans like drive past with all the cartons of milk. If you haven't seen a milk delivery van, they're very strange, and I'm not even sure. Like, I understand why they're like that, but they're very like sort of open box. They're basically just like you got the car part at the front, which is, you know, like the same like as like a lorry front part or a van front part. You know, if you take off a trailer, you know, that like it looks like that empty sort of thing, and then the like trailer they drag behind them is basically like an open trailer. It basically has no walls or anything. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like a car, I suppose. It's got like mild flat slabs or fences around the side, I suppose, keeping the milk crates in. But apart from that, it doesn't have anything else. And I was, you know, obviously it's open because then the milk delivery people just like drive up to around the houses, park on the side, and then they can reach in and grab the milk and pop it down in a crate and drive it forward and then etc. and do that much more rapidly. But of course, you know, I always thought like that's a bit dangerous, you know. I suppose for one, people could just reach in and take milk, but that's not really my main concern. My main concern is that I feel like things could fall out of it really easily, or even fall into it and damage milk bottles. Like, what if you get like, you know, there's quite common in countryside roads, especially in UK, where you'll be driving along and there'll be like not debris, but like loose pebbles or stones on the side of a road, which can easily kick up and hit your window and windshield. There's often like warning signs about it, like. I could easily just kick into the milk cart and the milk truck and just like break some bottles, right? I mean, I guess it's kind of like insured. They probably have backup plans and they take extra bottles out of them every single day or whatever. But, you know, it's like, huh. But I guess it's just weird because no other delivery service thing is like that, and for good reason. Like, imagine if mail delivery services were. Is it just dark enough for shooting stars, or is it just late? It might just be late. I mean, it's 6 p.m. It shouldn't be nighttime already, but it could be be a nighttime island. Or take make sure we try and listen out to see if there's any what we call shooting stars. I don't think it is because there's a load of acorns on the ground, so it shouldn't. It should just be a normal island. Well, normal falling leaf island. Yeah, it's a good thing. Like the postal delivery service doesn't have like an open car hours. That is much more important to not be like open because it's kind of private stuff in there, isn't it? You don't want someone reaching in and being like, oh, taking your confidential letter about your bills or your tax brackets or like I don't know your postal vote or something like that. That'd be obviously a very bad idea, and probably would land the postal delivery service in quite a lot of trouble. So let me take a sip of water quite fast. There we go. Milk. Yeah. So I don't know the last time I've seen a milk deliverer. Like, I've seen the vans. I don't think I've ever seen like the person walking around in a milk delivery outfit. Like, I don't know, is it a common thing in UK? They appeared in Britain around 1860. By 1880 it was delivered in bottles. In 1975, 94% of the milk was in glass bottles. Yeah, that's what I always picture as like those glass milk bottles, which honestly are kind of nostalgic looking at them, despite the fact I never used them. But even looking at them, I'm sure most people would be like, oh, it's so like quaintly, it's so like small town, the sort of small town feel. Like I've stayed in like small hotels around UK, or like lodges or inns especially, where they have those small like milk bottles. And I'm just like, oh, it's so quaint, It's the aesthetic of it, which I don't know, seems quite nicely. But let's see. This Wikipedia article I'm reading about it's called Milk Delivery. 1990, supermarkets started offering plastic and carton containers, reducing bottled milk from 94 to 3% in 2016. My word. Absolute death of an industry almost immediately. Oh, a milk float. Yeah, that's what these like car things are called. Yeah, there's a picture of them. Oh, I've read that wrong. I thought it said in 2005, 30% in US had their milk delivered. And I was like, what? No, I just read it. I mixed together two sentences. In 2005, 0.4%. In fact, it's still going on. It's crazy. Like, I mean, I don't live in a farmland area, I would say. So, I don't live in, like, West Midlands. I don't really know where else you get milk from. Where, like, milk producing farms come from. I mean, I feel like that's obvious from my accent, to be honest. Thinking UK accents, you can place me where I'm pretty well, just judging on how I speak. But yeah, these milk floats. These are the ones I'm picturing of. Particularly in the United Kingdom. I didn't realise it was just UK, which was it was such a big thing in. Not that like I casually assumed it was like everywhere, because it's not something, when you think of like not rural but like more old-timey stuff in different countries, you never really hear about milk floats, but it's kind of a thing you hear about mostly in UK stuff, I think. It's kind of sad to a certain degree, but it's also like that's just like the times are changing, aren't they? The modernisation of modern life, I suppose. It's just sort of inevitable that certain jobs get become redundant, I suppose. Especially with like mass transportation of like goods and services and that sort of thing. It's a bit specific just to have a milk delivery service compared to going to the grocery store and buying any sorts of like groceries that you particularly need. So I certainly wonder if that person, if she got like drummed up much business for whatever thing. I think it's an entire company, and I should have looked at what the company was so I could search them up, but I didn't, because I saw later someone else walking down the street. I was making lunch. Someone from the same company, different person, definitely different person, walking down the street, and they were, I suppose, passing through our street to seeing if there was anyone to particularly go door to door and sell to. Like, it's been ages since I've seen like a door to door salesman. I just realised we had Gulliver and not Gullivata, so I don't know why I'm deep sea diving, but I was just working on like automatic mode. I really wonder if they've had many services. I suppose if anything, there's a reasonable amount of like elderly people who live in this area. So I'd imagine a lot of them will be like, oh, you know, to reminisce of the good old days of having milk delivery services like my local milkman delivering for us. So perhaps that's something that they would particularly sign up for. In which case, I perfectly understand. To be honest, that sounds great for them. If you want to go get it, like I can certainly see myself being like an old lady and just like, or like subscribing to services which make me feel like young and nostalgic again, I suppose. Like I'm trying to think of what will be redundant in the future. Like I don't know, maybe everything will be delivered by drones and robots in the future, and then just be like, oh, I want a human courier now. Actually, nothing like that. No, I don't. I don't think I'd ever subscribe to that service. But you know, I don't even know what I'm going to lose until it's gone. So it's a bit hard for me to judge exactly what sort of nostalgic service I might sign up for. So I can see them doing that. And certainly it helps for our elderly people as well, who might only need like basic groceries delivered much more frequently. But you know, it's certainly quite a hassle, I'd imagine, for a lot of them to get stuff delivered. But I suppose the problem with their delivery service is the fact that, you know, online supermarkets already have delivery services, and they're pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty good most of the time. I guess, you know, that kind of comes with the issue of having, if you're older, like being, can you use the technology in the first place? And if you can use the technology in the first place, I guess you really would have done it. So I guess this helps in the sense if you're like an elderly person who doesn't know how to use technology particularly well, having someone come face to face with you and deliver something, and you know, you get to have I guess a nice casual conversation and chat with people at the same time. I hear certainly in older age people tend to get quite lonely. You know, there's fewer connections you can have, I suppose, especially when you have fewer things to go to. You're not like working, you don't go to school, etc., etc. And honestly, I suppose, you know, if that milk delivery service, if that brings them a simple pleasure in life, who am I to, you know, rob them of that? I would be quite cruel, I suppose, if I were. But anyway, the whole point is I haven't seen a milk flow for ages. How do you even like get started on a milk delivery service? I'd assume what you had to do is you had to sort of talk to like your local farmer and then they'll just be like, yo, you want to get some milk delivered? Like, I mean, I've stayed on a farm before. It was quite recently as well. You want to hop back to when I talked about camping or whatever in one of the Animal Crossing videos. The place I camped out on was on a farm, not a local farm. It was, you know, quite a bit away. And it was not, but they sold like fresh milk, I assume, from the cows on the farm. Did I have any? No, I kind of forgot actually to get any. To actually buy any, but still, it was there. And I've had like raw milk before. I think on a school trip. I don't actually recall. Probably going into a much more of an English countryside. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where I had it, but honestly I don't really recall it off the top of my head. But yeah, I forgot where I was going with this. It's just something I never really thought about. It's like, you know, when I was very young, you know, I'm talking about like, let me think, 10 and younger maybe, seeing like milk floats about delivering out milk, like driving up and down the street or whatever, like even if we didn't get our milk delivered like that. Actually, I think we might have a couple of times, but we certainly didn't for a long permanent time. A couple of times getting like milk delivered and that sort of thing, and then just like suddenly, they're gone. What happened to one of them? I don't know. What are the milk delivery services in the UK? They've all gone, you know? Could I get it delivered? Let's see. Milk delivery near me? Sure. Milk delivery service. Your local milkman. Curbside pickup. I must say, it probably got hit quite hard by COVID things, didn't they? There we go. Here's a local milk delivery service. Doorstop milk delivery, and they deliver oat milk. And it's a bit strange because they deliver the oat milk in cartons, which just kind of makes you feel like this is just like a supermarket delivery method, but with milk. At least they deliver milk in the glass bottles, and I assume the glass bottles are, you know, directly from the farm. It's not like, I'd imagine most farmers who are milk farmers don't exactly have an oat milk delivery farm as well, so I guess that's kind of fair enough. However, not a lot of like news blog posts just about milk being delivered. Glass bottled milk is the best milk, you know, fair enough. Like, I don't know. Things in glass bottles, like liquids in glass bottles, tend to taste better, don't they? It's what, you know, one of my friends who really likes Coca-Cola, that's what he always says about Coca-Cola in a glass bottle. Never had it. I don't think I've even seen it, to be perfectly honest, but here you go. Amazing service, 11 months ago, were the reviews. Are you still open? I don't know. Hello, Polly. Didn't know you were up in here. Man, these people are getting a lot of milk delivered. This person has 5 milk bottles. Like, even when I drank a lot of milk, even when I drank, like, porridge every single day, I don't know if I'd go through five of these milk bottles every single week. Maybe I would, I don't know. Cool, testimonials, I don't want cool. Updates. About us. You can only contact. It doesn't say how expensive this is. So I don't know how this works. I just kind of want to see how expensive milk delivery services are. This one also has a website, I'm going to look. But these very much are like a product of a time sort of websites. These websites probably haven't been updated since early 2000s. I'm looking at it. To be fair, the last one was very sleek. I would say it would be like an early 2010 sort of website, maybe even later 2010s. But this one's very much like a 2000 sort of website. I don't mean like what have we got, an Angel Fire website? Is that one? Is that right? Sorry, that's my wrist just clicking. My word, my wrist has been clicking a lot lately. I should be doing more of an RSI sort of exercises, because I don't of course want to develop carpal tunnel syndrome or anything like that. As should you, if you're someone like me who uses a computer quite a lot. So we're going to sort of casually walk around as we find Gulliver. Oh, they also do egg delivery. So I guess it's just general farm delivery. I don't know, it seems so quaint. And part of me wants to do it just for, I suppose, the nostalgic, not as nostalgic, but the quaint sort of appeal of it, even though I don't really need it. To be perfectly honest. It makes me wonder about these sort of operations. How much milk do you get a day in a farm? I don't really know how operations have an over-under sort of on-farm work even works, you know? Like, even if you deliver to, let's say, 30 houses each day, that's like 30 pints of milk every single day. Do cows produce 30 pints of milk every single day? How much milk does a cow produce a day? 7.5 gallons? What? I had no idea they produce so much milk. That's so much milk. 7.5 gallons. That is insanity. Hold on. That's 34 litres. Are you... A dairy cow would produce 28 litres per day. What? I had no idea cows produced that much milk. Okay, well that certainly answered my question. Because I was like, if you deliver to 30 houses, how are you going to deliver 30 pints a day? In my mind, cows made like 5 litres of milk a day, maybe. Like, max. I would guess that they'd average like 1 to 2 litres or something. I didn't really realise that dairy cows specifically are like 30 litres. That is crazy. That's blown my mind. You can tell how much I like have no experience with like farm work or anything, certainly. And you know, I openly admit that. I basically have no idea how anything works on a farm, and you know, I never lived in a farm. Despite the fact I live in an area with a decent amount of farms. I just have no idea how that even works. I have no idea. That's so much milk. Okay, that's completely answered my question. Like, okay, I was like, how do you business operations scale up? Because I can't imagine dairy farms, like, if you're a small, like, rural dairy farm, enough to be, like, a milk delivery person, you probably have, like, 8 cows at max, and I was like, you're only getting, like, maybe, like, 30 pints a day or something. Sorry, 30 litres a day. That's like, what, you can deliver to maybe, like, 50 houses or something, provided they only want 1 bottle each. I don't know if that's actually quite right. I can't remember the conversion of pints to litres, to be perfectly honest. Okay, well, that's answered my question. So basically, all the numbers I had in my head, times that by 8. That's basically what the actual numbers are like. That's so crazy, and like I can't believe I'm so mind blown by that entire thing. That's so much work. You have to milk this cow for 30 litres every single day, like in one sitting. How long does that take? I don't know. Maybe I should go take a trip. Maybe I should go like spend some time on a farm so I can understand how this all works at some point. Because that's the thing that like always blew my mind. Is like, how do farming operations upscale so much? Like, obviously, you know, in the olden days, we used to have like farms all over the place because, you know, most of the population needed to be made to do farming or that sort of thing. But nowadays we don't need it, obviously, as much with the birth of, I suppose, farming machinery and industrial services, I suppose, which could help automate things a lot easier. But even still, it sort of blows my mind being like, how much, like, for example, if you had like bacon delivered like every day or every week or something, like how many not cows, how many pigs do you need to sustain that sort of thing in a farm? Like, surely that's not sustainable in any form. But, you know, People have made it work before, so what do I know? And the answer is nothing, it turns out. Nothing. I'm like, what? I can't believe it. There's so much milk. So basically, an entire milk float. Like, let's think, an entire milk float. Let's say each milk crate holds about 12 pints of milk. What's that in litres? I don't actually know. 4 litres? 12 pints equals litres. 6 litres. Oh yeah, wait, hold on. Isn't that like 2.2? No, maybe that's pounds. I don't remember. Okay, so 12 pints, which is about 7 litres. Okay, how many milk crates are there in a milk float? Let's say it's like a 4 by 8 by 2 or 3. Let's do 3 to be generous. That's 96. So 96 by 7. I don't know what that is in my head. 672. So you can have like 12 cows for an entire milk float. That's still quite a lot. And to be fair, I was quite generous of how much. I didn't mean to talk to you. I meant to talk to Brewster. How many milk bottles are in a milk thing in the first place? So 622. Like, people will only have 2 or 3 bottles of milk or something. Yeah, okay. The operations do scale up. That's about 300 houses you could deliver to. Actually, now I think about it, isn't it you only have milk like on a Sunday morning or something? Like, oh, the milkman's come in, popped in with the milk on Sunday. I guess it very much is a UK thing. Never really thought about that. Oh, I'm going to close out this. So, products. Oh, okay, so let's see. 6 eggs, priced at £1.45. Chicken eggs are quite a common thing. Like, I used to have a friend in primary school. Actually, I have a friend now who used to own chickens, I should say. They own chickens as well. They like sold their eggs to the neighbours or that sort of thing. Products. How expensive is your stuff? Milk, cream, spreads, yogurts, cheese, goods, soft drinks. Like, obviously it's now some sort of partnership with actual product dealers, I suppose. April offers, Wenlock, Spring. I don't even know what that is. Is that something near me? Oh no, it's a type of water. 1 pint is 85p. That sounds quite expensive. Hold on, how much? No, how much? How much milk used to cost? I saw it used to be a litre at like 80p or something. Back when I like I don't know. I don't buy semi-skim milk anymore, so it's kind of hard for me to remember. Well, I don't know. Maybe it tastes really nice straight out of a glass bottle, which is, you know, that's what that one blog post on the other website said. Oh, there's a lot of types of milk. I didn't realise. There's so many. Homogenized milk, goat's milk, soya milk. I don't know, the fact it's in a carton, I feel like the only reason I'd want to buy it from the milk delivery services is the fact it's in a glass bottle. I don't want to buy it in a carton. What's the point of that? I could just go to a supermarket for it, right? I don't know, maybe that's just me. It's so very strange. Anyway, milk delivery services. haven't had milk delivered for ages. They're still going on, so good for them, I'd say. If they can still run a business, I just guess the demand for it is probably a lot lower now that people have, you know, the advent of supermarkets. Or even local grocery shops, which have been able to stock them in a much more reasonable amount. But yeah, I guess we'll round off this episode here. So if you haven't, actually no, let's take up this fossil. If you haven't been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Any likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me Dear Darling Discord, follow me on Twitter down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, ta farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.